Okay. All right. So here we are. It's Tuesday after the challenge. We did make it to Heathcote for Sunday, which was a big achievement. Very happy with it. I'm Duncan, Drew's dad. Yeah, we built the car basically in about what was the total? Look, we probably spent about 60 hours on it. As far as days go, we've already sort of lost track of days and bits and pieces. But I'm not a mechanic. Obviously neither is Drew. We love our cars. We've had a few turboed, BA, BFs, Typhoons, bits and pieces like that. So we did have some spare parts lying around. So when Scotty came up with the challenge, it sounded like a great idea, something for Drew and I to do together.
On my ute.
Yeah, this is Drew's ute. We got this cheap. We paid, pretty sure I paid $1,000 for it. It's a AU Series 1 99 model, 5-speed. We probably about a year and a half ago paid $400 for a pretty ratted AU XR6 ute, which we managed to get the 345 LSD diff out of. The XR6 seats actually got a full front end as well, headlights and bumpers, bumper and whatnot. So that's the joy. That's sort of the reason why we went with the AU, because it's cheap.
Yeah.
Some people hate them. I like them. You can't not like the smiling face on it.
Yeah. They're cheap and decently reliable.
Cheap
obviously.
and cheery. Yeah.
Obviously, we'll show you what happened to us. But yeah.
That's it. So basically, yeah, the challenge came around. We thought, all right, we had a Chinese turbo sitting around in a box, brand new, from back in the day, after buying a previous one and using it on a mate's car. And on its maiden voyage, the nut on the impeller shaft let go and went straight through the turbo, 50 metres from the bloke's house. So didn't really inspire confidence in the Chinese turbos. Went back to them. They said, yep, fair enough, we'll send you another one out. Sort of said it's not really good enough. So we ended up getting a 50% credit, was it refund? So honestly, the turbo was $375.99. We did get half of that back. I've just kept, as far as figures go, $376
on it.
On it. Okay, so yeah, look, FG turbo manifold. We all know what those are worth. It seemed like everyone who's done an AU build seems to have gone an aftermarket manifold.
Yeah, but mainly was it J-pipe ones.
Some J-pipe, yeah, some not.
Yeah.
But we had this sitting around, so we went, we'll give it a try. So we bought an adapter plate to go from Intec to BABFFG. So $190 from
6-boot
TI. Now, what we didn't factor in, which I've just counted, is obviously the gaskets. So there was another, I think, $75. Didn't count turbo nuts, so there's 23. So effectively, there's about another $100 on top. We had a boosted BA ute previously, which I sold before the world got herpes. So yeah, all these bits have been laying around, but that's what you see here. This is the intercooler pipe setup. It's quite a big intercooler. It is a no-name. It was supposed to be something good, but
hard to see it through the bar.
I think it flows pretty good. And dump pipe. So X-Force mild steel dump pipe. Yeah, we didn't end up using all of the exhaust, but we did use the dump pipe. It was never going to work on this, so I marked it out. We pizza cutted the hell out of it like an absolute champion. Then took it down to Tony at ABC Exhaust in Exhaust and Tow Bars in High Street and Laylaw. Always sort of taking cars there to get exhaust and bits and pieces. Tony's an absolute champion. We turned up. We worded him up previous. and then turned up at probably about 20 to 5, and he stayed well and truly after hours for us. Took care of that. Once he knew that this was Drew's project, he was right into helping out and supporting.
Yeah.
So where are we at? All right, so I know Drew's basically explained everything else in the videos. We've got 440 injectors from TI. What else have we got? All right, so GT, it's a Chinese GT 3582R.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's an R or whatever. All right, tuned with a J3 chip. Jason from TI said we didn't need the 4-bar, what was it?
Fuel reg.
The 4-bar fuel reg, but I think we did put one in anyway.
Yeah, just under there.
But as far as you go, if you're going to build one, yeah, you don't need one. That's what he said, and I trust his judgment. We did have to change manifold to get the 4-bar map sensor on. Which Drew's previously explained.
Yeah, the reason we had to do that is because Series 1 has 2 screw holes for the map sensor, and the map sensor is a completely different design. Whereas from Series 2 AU onwards, it's 1 screw into the manifold.
Yep.
And yeah,
that's it. So we've got the 350 litre per hour fuel pump in the standard casing in the fuel tank. That proved to be well and truly beyond my capability. We still did a pretty rough job on it, but we got it in there. It's definitely not a bolt-in piece.
Yeah, you got to modify it with what's the tool?
A hammer and screwdriver.
Not that.
Multi-tool.
Multi-tool. That's it.
Multi-tool, hammer and screwdriver. We modified it the way that we know best.
Yeah.
Basically, look, FG manifold, VPW fittings. You can see I did have a Mumba kit off eBay for a BABF. Now, a lot of those fittings didn't fit, so obviously it's a completely different setup. So we ended up going to VPW in Epping, grabbing all these bits and pieces. So all those fittings were $259, and basically we've tapped lower part of the thermostat housing. So this is pressurized water feed into the turbo, water out, and just run it back into the
overflow tank,
overflow radiator, which heads back and back into our thermostat housing. Oil, we all know it all comes from the oil pressure sender down the bottom. So down in there, we've got our little filter there.
It's in there.
And oil in there. We've tapped the side of the sump. Drew will most likely do a video and show you. We'll go in depth and basically do an idiot's guide to turboing one of these, just so that you can see what's going on. You know what sizes things are and what we've used, and if you're as clueless as us, you can end up doing it yourself. If what this challenge proved to us is that if we can do it, you can do it. I'm just a plumber. I like cars. Drew loves cars, and that's it. We just wanted a cheap project. So we knew the AU would provide a good base. She's got 320,000 Ks on it, or 330, something up there.
I think it's 319,000 Ks.
She has worked. Other mods, obviously, being 5-speed, started cracking the firewall. There's another a piece that you can get to support it. The clutch cable, but that was all done previous. Look, bits and pieces, I counted up $1,827.99. So $1,828. As I said, add another $100 to that. So $1,928 is what we spent. That does not include your cooler and piping, or your dump pipe. Now, we put a figure of, say, about $550 on that, but looking at Marketplace, you can buy your $100 coolers. There's $100 and something odd dollar cooler pipe kits that you can get, and there's even a fairly decent looking dump pipe on there for about $250. So you can do it cheaper. I do not have the patience to go on Marketplace and deal with the knuckleheads on there.
That's my job.
That's his job. I run my own business. Deal with enough, and dealing with interesting people off marketplace is just not in my wheelhouse. Okay, so basically finished the build on Saturday. Finally got it out for a drive on one small little bitumen road. Everything else was stone, like gravel roads. But on the bitumen road, third gear pull, just easing into it, it pleasantly surprised me. It sort of really kicked in, so I thought this car's definitely got a 12 in it. And yeah, that was it really. So what's in it is a J3 chip. We told Jason from TI exactly what setup we were going to be running, and he sent the chip out along with all the other bits and pieces. The computer, and it didn't tend to read the first time. Drew got a little bit discouraged. We said, look, give it a go, give it another little bit more of a sand. He did that. It went straight back in, it read it, and was actually really quite good, considering. That was without the upgraded fuel pump in the tank, and it actually ran almost like a stock car. It was really smooth. We then added the fuel pump, and it got real rich, and nice and fumey and whatnot. But to me, that sort of went, yeah, okay, that's a good thing. We're obviously running quite lean before, and yeah, that was basically how we left it. It was completely unknown. Let's throw it on the trailer. That was Saturday night. Trailer overnight. Last little bits and pieces on Sunday, and we hit Heathcote. So, Heathcote, nice hot day, Australia Day, I'm sure you remember it. Up at Heathcote, I think it was about 32 degrees. As I say, untested.
Untuned as well.
Untuned.
The J3 came straight from TI. We put it in, and yeah, it was running all right for what it is. Like, I've had a look over all the fuel map and spark table and this and that, and yeah, like it's no one's fault that it runs rich. If anything, it's probably good that it runs rich at the moment, so it protects the motor a bit more, just so we can wait and then take it to someone to tune it.
Yeah, it's the type of tune that they put in it so that you can drive it to a tuner.
Yeah. We
didn't drive it to a tuner, we drove it to the racetrack. Alright, long and the short of it is, straight off the trailer, we ran a 13.3. So, our time slip.
So yeah, that's the first run.
So 13.3 at 106.9 mile an hour. Pretty horrible, 2.19 60 foot. That was a absolute getting to know you run, because it's got a great big heavy clutch in it. We did that same thing probably about a year ago. There was minimal burnout. I'll see if Drew can put in the videos to the videos of the run. Yeah, it was a complete get to know you run sort of thing, just very gentle. We did put slicks on it. I didn't do much of it, basically did no burnout at all, just popped the clutch, gave it a little bit of a spin, see how it went in first, and took off, and it was, yeah, lots of wheel spin. As it turns out, looking at the videos of the first and second run, both times it was basically skating through second, but on that first run, second gear felt really good, wasn't sort of dancing around too much, pulled really nice in third, and that was it. 13.3 on the first run. I thought that's nice and strong for a real gentle sort of first run. Drove around, let it cool off. Went to go see Scotty, who was having a lot of trouble with his J3.
Yeah, I went over, well, we all went over, we asked him for a photo, and then we told him we were a part of the challenge, and that we pulled the car straight off the trailer, no tuning, and it ran a 13.3. His eyes widened so much. It was he was he couldn't believe it because his J3 just wasn't working really well.
Yeah, he was having a lot of hard time with it, sort of running right and whatnot. So we actually pulled the J3 out of this, chucked it in. He chucked it in his, but this was set up for manual. His is obviously set up for auto. This is a Series 1. There's enough differences that caused chaos to Series 2. So his maps were completely different. The tables looked completely different. I'm not even going to try and explain it because I don't understand the maps.
It wasn't that. It was running fine, but due to the bin file that we use for the Series 1 manual U, it forced his auto to continuously stay in like...
It was in limp mode, so it was stuck in third gear the whole time.
Okay,
that was previously what his car was doing as well. But watch Scotty's video. Obviously, you're all going to watch Scotty's video and see what happened. But yeah, so we chucked the chip back in, went out for our second run. I gave it a bit more curry on the start line for a bit of a burnout. Not huge, not a Summernats burnout or anything like that, just a little bit more heat in the tyres. Tried to slip the clutch a lot more gently and just take off with a little less gusto. But yeah, same story. Looking at the video, it's good having the videos of other people filming your runs. The thing just skated through second, so I probably hit second a little bit too hard. First time I've raced a manual on the track. All the cars I've raced have been auto. So driver error, I'll wear that one. I'm cool with that. But yeah, it felt really good. Same thing, pulled really hard in third, into fourth, and at the end of the strip, I lost power steering. So I sort of went, okay, I've obviously thrown a belt or something like that.
There you go, there's the accessories belt.
That was that. So got back to the pits and sort of thought, okay, well, where are we going to find a belt on a Sunday on Australia Day? Well, that's where another gentleman who races speedway cars and runs the Intex and things like that turned around and said, hey, what about, how does your belt run on that? And I sort of said, well, it doesn't. We haven't got a belt. He's like, yeah, but do you run it upside down or what? And yeah, it's one of those things I overlooked. As it turns out, we were missing this. This was at the end of the track, having a power nap.
Yeah.
So Scotty apparently did a couple of runs and waved at it and thought that's strange. So yeah, the good people from Heathcote Park Raceway went down and grabbed it, retrieved it for us. So there's a little trophy for us. But got round to the time sheds, picked up the slip, and second run was a 13.6. So find the slip. So here's our second one. So 13.6, 105.8 mile an hour. Same thing with a 2.1 48 60 footer. So it sort of points to not enough good launch, and not sort of skating through second as well. That run definitely felt she was all twitchy in second. I knew that I'd sort of overpowered it, and I was hoping that we'd get a few more runs, but as it turns out, that's spelt the end of the day. So first run 13.3, second run 13.6
on an untuned car, which is absolutely awesome. I'm happy. You happy?
Oh, supremely happy.
Yeah.
For our sort of maiden voyage, bolting all this together. We normally have mates that help us. Thankfully, they helped us by at least letting us use their hoist and their workshop, their shed. Had some, we put this together with no skill, no ideas, bit of Facebook research and all that sort of stuff. Looking back at the forums, seeing what people did with how they wired up the map sensor to the AU1s and whatnot. So always good to reach out to other people, learn whatever knowledge that you don't have. So that was amazing, and that was basically where we ended the day there. So total figures, I think, I've already done the figures? No. As I say, 1900. It'd be 28 bucks, not including your dump pipe, your cooler piping, and your intercooler.
And so what we've estimated it, well, what's it at?
Look, run it, yeah, allowing sort of 550, something like that. Look, you're at about $2.5 grand, and obviously not getting paid for my time, but it probably took me about 60 hours playing with this total. That's with Drew helping. If you have a couple of mates, I'm sure you guys could do it a lot quicker. If you've already done one, if someone's already done one, I'm sure you'd thump them out a lot quicker. If you bought more specific parts, not that you really can for the AU, but yeah, you'd probably thump it out a little bit quicker.
And also, you could definitely build one of these for under $2 grand. Obviously, we went more expensive options with our dump, our manifold of choice, the adapter plate. But yeah, I mean, if you were to do it on your own, fab everything on your own and stuff like that, you can easily do it for under $2 grand.
I think a fair figure for this setup is probably about 2,700 bucks.
Yeah.
2,700 bucks to run 13.3, and there's more in it. I think that's a great investment. So she did beat us on the day.
Yeah.
We are going to put a new balancer on.
And we're going to get our 12.
Love the experience of running at Heathcote. They were super laid back, very good natured. Yeah, we'll just keep. Yeah, we'll fix that. We'll go back. We're going to run it in the current state that it's at, with the J3 chip tune as it is. Get our 12, because that's what we aim to do. Congratulations to all the guys that ran 12s on the day. Good work, especially the guys with the BA who popped the auto, hired the shed and changed the auto out and whatnot. But that car was on fire to start with. Like, that was absolutely boogieing. So ripper work to you guys. Same with the Bogan Garage boys with the Commodore Ute. The thing was hammering, and yeah, so we'll do that, and then we'll probably send it to one of the tuners out in Bacchus Marsh who plays with the J3s. He was there on the day. We'd love to get it tuned and touched up with the J3, and yeah, we'll go from there. I love the idea of a cheap race car, or cheap car that you can just beat on, and this was it. This did fantastic. Alright, so as we say, being short on knowledge, you rely on good people to help you. Obviously thanks to Megan, the missus, and the family, because they didn't see Drew or I for about a week. Taz and Mo from Utility Group Australia for the shed, the hoist, additional tools and know-how, and extreme patience and assistance.
Yeah.
We thought we were going to bust this out in about 2 or 3 days. It went a lot longer than that. It occupied his hoist for a while.
No one really shows you how long it actually takes to build something. It looks pretty easy to do, but it's pretty time consuming.
Yep. All right, Sam from SBL Lawn Care for his fabrication and illumination skills. If you ever need a bloke to hold a torch, Sam's your man.
Yeah.
And if he can't modify it with a sledgehammer,
Something's
then
wrong.
it can't be modified. Definitely big thanks to Tony from ABC Exhaust in Laylaw. Corey from Precision Group. Best mates since we're kids. Thank you for the trailer and the support. RM turbochargers in Summerton. I tried to clock the turbo and couldn't get the housing off, and front housing, and ripped a rubber O-ring to bits. Being a Chinese turbo, I thought, this is not going to be good. I'm never going to get a spare for it. Went to RM turbochargers in Summerton. They were straight onto it. No worries at all. Yeah, bits and pieces from VPW.
Yeah.
And yeah, honestly, that's about it. Yeah. So 12s for 2K challenge. Did we run 12s? No. Ran 13.3, nice and strong. I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
Shame, I thought we would either pop the engine, blow a gearbox, like blow third out of it, or even maybe pop a diff. Sadly, it was just this little character. So yeah, we're definitely going to fix that, push it again, see if we can get our 12, and
then push it until its limit,
yeah,
until it breaks something of value.
But thank you to Scotty. Thank you to Scotty for the idea of the challenge. Great idea. It was a great time to work with Drew. Nothing like some father and son time. I think Drew's pretty happy that his ute is turbocharged.
Yeah.
If I'd had that as a kid, I would have been pretty wrapped. Yeah, got to spend good times with good mates, barbecues, some beers. Yeah, it's just good to spend time with good people. So all in all, absolute ripper experience. Yeah, I hope you guys can join it. I hope Scotty does it again. And yeah, I think that's about it. This story's not finished.
Yep.
So
only just starting at the moment.
$2,000, no. 12s, no.
Not yet for the 12s part.
We'll keep going. I think if we can run a load, say maybe a 12.5 for 2.5, that's not a bad compromise.
Yeah.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Here's just a little extra. There you go. First run 13.3, second run 13.6, lost belt and harmonic balancer. And then you got my dad's signature with ruined by, and then don't know how that got on there, but the car says it's just taking a power nap. So should be back soon enough. Yeah, cheers for watching the video. If you've been watching and you subscribed, yeah, thank you very much. We hope that you guys like the videos and have liked them. And yeah, we hope that you come back for more. Cheers.